Good morning. Hi guys. I hope you're well. Hope you're well. How are you doing? I hope you have had a good weekend and all is good with you. So the weather has turned and it's a lot cooler now and it's raining now. So yeah, I hope that it's a lot more comfortable for you. So guys, I'm well, apart from having so much trouble trying to do this live. I've been here since like a few minutes before 10 and I've been on actually 6 times and I've just not been able to get it to work. I can see I've got somebody with me. Good morning, Horatio. Good morning, my lovely. Thank you so much for letting me know that you couldn't see the live. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here. And you know what? Oh my goodness. Honestly, it must be the heat that's turning me a bit strange. Because I was going live last week, I went live, no problems at all. But this week, when you go live, the little edit button comes up and you need to click the edit button and select that the live is going to be public. And I hadn't done that. And I've gone live 5 times since 10 o'clock. And I wasn't convinced that people could see me because normally when I go live, at least somebody will jump in, because when you go live, it comes up on people's feed and people will either jump in and then often jump out. So you get an influx of numbers and that way I know that I'm live. But it wasn't happening. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure that I'm live. And of course I wasn't, because Clever Clogs here hadn't selected it to live. So thank you so much, Horatio. Thank you so much, my darling, for letting me know. The once I did a live, and this is back in the early days, and I did this whole live session and nobody came in and I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why nobody had come in. Of course, it was set to unlisted. I know, crazy. Hi, hello, I've got the goofy guys here. Hello, my lovelies, great to have you with me. And Matthias McCrab, thank you so much for being here today, and a huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. So guys, I hope you're well. I hope you are all well. And I know the weather's changed and it's a lot cooler now. With the rain, it's still warm, but it's cooler. So you know, here in the UK, we'd been promised rain all week. So you know me, I love my garden, and I thought I'm not going to water it because we're going to get rain all week. And well, the rain came one day, but it was literally a shower, and my plants, my garden was like, it was curling up, absolutely dried up. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go and give the water a garden, because you know, when they're in pots, they can dehydrate so much the soil actually comes away from the pot. And it was like that, and all the leaves were drooping and some of them had gone yellow, they'd gone into shock. So I gave it a really, really good water. Friday night, and then Saturday morning I woke up and it had rained, and I was like, isn't that just typical? Just typical. Anyway, guys, I hope you are well. I hope you've stayed hydrated this week in the heat. Good morning, Evo channel. Great to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being here. So, guys, I can see quite a few new people, new names. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Angela, and I am the host of the channel Time Out with Angela. And on the channel, guys, we do everything which is about a healthy lifestyle, healthy living, weight loss, wellness, for all ages, but particularly if you're 50 plus. And on my journey to getting well, I have lost 12 stone 3 pounds, which is 173 pounds on my channel. Thank you, Evo. I know you said that you love my name. Oh, thank you so much for being here, my lovely. So yeah, I've lost 173 pounds, and I am a trained weight loss coach and also a trained menopause coach and a wellness coach. So on this channel, we do all sorts of things related to health and well-being and wellness. I talk a lot about the wellness journey and, give some coaching and some tips and hacks around wellness. And then I do lifestyle, so shopping hauls, food hauls, a little bit of cooking, clothing hauls. I love my garden, so I do gardening updates. I love to travel, so we do traveling reviews as well. Hi Ash, hi Sukdeel, great to have you all here with me today. So guys, on this channel we do all of those things, but today I've got 3 things that I want to share with you, and it's related to the weight loss journey. And today I'm going to share with you 3 things that I started to do on my journey that has helped me to lose 173 pounds and to keep it off. Oh, thank you, Evo. Thank you, my darling. And Chanel, thank you so much. You know what? I get that a lot. People saying that I look like Janet Jackson. And I couldn't see it. But I do have one pair of glasses, which is the same as these, but black. And whenever I wear those, I could see it around the nose and the mouth. I can see it. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be told that I look like Janet Jackson because she's a very beautiful woman, so I'm happy with that. And Sukdeel, you're from the Punjab, from Amritsar. Oh, that is wonderful. Let me tell you something. A little known fact. I have Indian blood in me. My grandfather was Indian. He was from Calcutta. And I've done a lot of family research. And tracing that back, I have 10% Indian blood in me, so yeah, we're family if you're from the Punjab. Janat, you're from the Punjab as well. And I'm gonna butcher your name, but Saivev Meths, you're from Nagaland. Lovely. Oh, and Evo, you're in England, yeah, and I'm in England too. I'm here based in England. So it is great to have you all with me today on this live. So I'm going to share with you 3 things that has helped me to lose 173 pounds, but more importantly, what's helped me to keep it off, because we know that when we're on the weight loss journey, it's one thing losing weight, but another thing keeping it off. Because for so many people, it can go back on. And I've been there. I'm the first one to put my hands up. Is there a rosary in my room? No, I don't have like a rosary beads. I've got my fish tank that you could probably see there, but no rosaries. So yeah, for so many people, it's easy to lose the weight, but then it can go back on. So we're going to be looking at that, and I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things that's helped me with that. Last week, I did a live last week, and I looked at 3 things that I stopped doing. 3 things that I stopped doing that has helped me on my weight loss journey. So feel free to go and look at that live. If you're interested in that. But I have edited all the waffle out, and I'm going to upload that as a video tomorrow. My religion. So I was raised as a Christian, and that is a story for another time. I'll have to do a video about that. But at the moment, I'm not religious. Yeah, although I was raised, I'm not religious. Eve, you can't stay for long, but you hope, yeah, but I hope you are okay in the future. You subscribed, love this, and you've liked the live. You just have a lovely day. And yeah, the garden is fine. Love that. So feel free after the live to come back and watch it. Yeah, because I realise not everybody can stay. Oh, I'm getting, bye, my darling. Bye bye. I'm getting lots of love from lots of you today. So thank you so much. Thank you. So guys, before I get into that video, let me just say, I've got a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a TikTok page, and they're all called Time Out with Angela. So feel free to nip over to those channels and give it a like and give it a follow. And I'm going to share with you some, because last week I did say we're going to get going with our community. We're going to build a community, and I'm going to start it on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So do follow me there. And then as our community grows, then I'm going to create a separate group for us so we can get talking and sharing and supporting. But we're going to just build that Facebook group first. I also mentioned last week about our membership scheme. So I'm reigniting, revising, uploading, getting our membership going. Again, we had a really successful membership last year, and I took a pause from it, and I'm starting that membership again. So do look out on the community page for information about that. That is going to be coming either today or tomorrow. But just to let you know very quickly, we're going to have two tiers of membership. We're going to have one at $1.99 a month. And that is just for your way of, if you want to say thank you to me for doing all this content for you. You're going to have loyalty badges, emojis, priority replies, and shout outs. And then we've got a very exciting £4.99 a month membership level. And at that level, you're going to get everything that you get at $1.99. Plus, we're going to have a monthly live session. So it's going to be on Zoom, and it's going to be a community where we can come together as a community, and we are going to be able to just support each other and, you know, share with each other. Okay. So at this point, let me give a massive shout out to Diane. Diane, thank you so much for supporting me. Even whilst I've not uploaded on the in the membership, you have chosen to continue to support me, and I appreciate you for that. And so many of you, Horatio, Tony, have supported the membership in the past, and so many of you, Ali as well, and Vic, you've all been really supportive, so thank you for that. But we're going to get going again. We're going to get going. And the third exciting thing, I'm so excited about this, guys, because it is something brand new. Now, as you know, I am a weight loss coach, and I've coached thousands and thousands of people over the years to get results. And I am a coach that live what I teach and live what I preach. And because I live it, I have lost 173 pounds in weight today, 12 stone 3 pounds. That's no easy feat. And I will always say to you, if you were looking on a program, for a coach, whatever it is, whether it's Slimming World or Weight Watchers or, you know, a private coaching session, always make sure that whoever is coaching you or leading your program is living the program, and that they are on their own weight loss journey, and what they're sharing with you is real. Because it's so easy for anybody to, you know, gather information, be given a script, and to read it and tell you what to do, but they're not actually living it themselves. So really, really important that you do that. So as somebody who has lost 173 pounds and has had a really, really successful journey, I coach people and I coach them to see success. And one of the key things that I teach them, well, the key thing is about making a mind shift change, because we can look at our food, we can look at activity, we could look at all these different things, but if we haven't shifted the mindset, that's why we regain the weight. We can regain the weight because we haven't made that mindset shift. And welcome back, Eve. Great to have you back, my darling. And no, I don't have a daughter, my darling. So with that in mind, I have developed a course. I have. And let me just tell you very, very quickly about it, because there's going to be lots more information about this. It's called 10 weeks, 10 mindset shifts. That's what the program's going to be called. And each week we're going to, the course is over 10 weeks. And over the 10 weeks, we're going to focus in on one mindset shift. Okay? And you'll get downloadables as well, because they don't expect you to make the shift every week or, in that period. Hello, Robert. Great to have you here, my darling. And so, shifting the mindset takes time. It takes time. But what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to teach you and share with you, and we're going to discuss and explore one mindset shift each week. And there's going to be activities for you to go away and practice those. And then, so that's over the 10 weeks. And what that's going to do is going to upskill you. It's going to give you the skills, give you the information, give you the knowledge to start putting in practice those mindset shifts in your own life, so that you too can lose your weight and keep it off. Really, really important. So the course is going to run from the 7th of September to the 9th of November. So again, you're going to be developing those skills in time for the Christmas, the end of the year, and also have those to go into the new year with. And I'm going to be there to support you. So look out for more information on that, guys. It's called 10 weeks, 10 mindset shifters. So lots and lots and lots going on. But guys, let's get straight into this. So a huge warm welcome to you. Whatever point you come into this live, it is great to have you here. And guys, if you are not subscribed to my channel, Time Out with Angela, feel free to click that subscribe button, but also hit that notification bell, because I'm on a journey. And I would love to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is what I'm aiming for. But in the meantime, I'd love to get to 2,500 by the end of July. So if you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. So guys, let's get into this topic. Let's get straight in. I've got my notebook here. And I will be referring to it if you see me looking down. So, the weight loss journey. When, losing weight at whatever age we are is so important, because carrying weight can have an impact on our health in so many different ways. So, losing weight is really important for our overall health and wellness. As I know, just because I've lost 173 pounds, it doesn't miraculously take away all your health conditions. I suffer with a number of health conditions, and those will be with me whatever weight I'm at. But just losing the weight, it's, it makes me feel good about myself. So, before I get into this, I want to give you a bit of an analogy. Okay, and I have mentioned this analogy before. So imagine that you're on a journey. Yeah, it might be that you're going down the road, going somewhere, and it's 200 miles from where you start. Okay, and you're in your car and you speed off. You know, you get off on your journey at a really, really good pace. And then, like 2 miles into the journey, your car breaks down. Okay, it stops working. And you are focused and you are determined to get to your destination. You've got to get there. You've got to get there. So you know, because you know this route, that there is there's a station, a petrol station, a garage 100 miles down the road. And the only way that you can get there is to walk to this garage, and it's 100 miles down the road. What would you do, guys? What would you do? Drop in the comments. What would you do? You're on a journey, you've broken down, and the only way to get to your destination is to walk. And it's 100 miles to get some help. What would you do? Would you just sit in the car and hope that somebody comes and get you? Would you walk back from where you came from? What would you do? A lot of people would think if where they're going is really important and they've got to get there, they've got no choice to get there, they would walk. They would walk. And you might start walking, and as you're walking, you might get really tired. You might stop for a little breather, but you know that you've got to keep going. You might even decide to run. But realistically, running for 100 miles is a bit of a challenge. So what you might then do is decide to do a little run, then a walk, run and walk. But even after doing that, you're going to get exhausted. Not unless you're a marathon runner, of course. But the reality is, if you've got somewhere to go that is really important and you've got to get there, it might be that you've got to go and get the kids, from wherever you've dropped them off. The only way that you're going to get there is to walk. And you've got to keep going. You're going to put one foot in front of the other and you're going to keep going. And that is very much like the weight loss journey. On the weight loss journey, we know that we've got a certain amount of weight to lose. It might be £10, it might be £20, 50, 100, even £200. And you know that by just doing nothing, that's not going to get you a result. It might even be that you might think, you know what, I'm just going to go back to my old habits. You know that that's not going to get you to where you need to get to. And you know that you've got to get there. You've got to lose the weight. So by putting one foot in front of the other every day, taking a tiny little step every day, you are going to get to your destination. Hi, Tony. Hello, my lovely. Great to see you, my darling. Thank you so much for being here. And for all the people who are making very rude, very inappropriate comments, I see you. I see you. So, but the great thing about YouTube is they're going to block your comments. So, you know, you're wasting your time, my lovelies, if you're making those rude comments. So, on the journey, when we put one foot in front of each other, we take one day at a time, one meal at a time, we're going to get there. Sometimes we might think, you know what, I'm going to restrict. I'm going to cut out the bread. I'm going to cut out the sugar. I'm going to cut out the cakes and the biscuits. It's kind of like us doing a sprint. And again, when we sprint, like on that journey, we might, you know, it might get us so far. It might get us, you know, even half a mile down the road. It might even get us, you know, 2 or 3 weeks into the journey. But what's going to happen? We're going to burn out. And then it's not doable. So what happens is we either stop and we give up, or we go back to our old habits. So when I was started my weight loss journey, last week I talked about the 3 things that I stopped doing that wasn't serving me. And this week I'm going to talk about 3 things. There's lots of other things, but 3 key things that I did on my journey that really helped me, to keep going, to help me to not burn out, to help me to not do the sprint. Yeah, I stopped doing the sprint. I was like, I'm just going to walk at a nice, steady pace. Because when I do that, I know that I'm going to get to my destination. But I know that if I do a sprint and I cut out this and I cut out that and I start putting in place habits that I know is not going to serve me well, or I'm not going to live, that's going to halt me. I'm going to stop and I'm going to go back to my old habits. So 3 things that I focused in on. Number 1 is protein. When I discovered the power of protein on the weight loss journey, it really made a massive difference for me. What protein does, it makes us feel fuller for longer, because of the nature of the food. It's the amino acids, the fiber, you know, what am I trying to say? The nature of it. So if you look at it's lean tissue, that's what I'm trying to say, because it's lean meat, lean tissue. Our bodies take a lot longer to break that down and to digest it. So that's why we feel fuller for longer. Whereas if we eat something like simple carbs, like bread, it gets digested really quickly in our stomachs. So that's when we eat refined carbs. There's a difference between simple carbs and complex carbs. Well, when we eat the simple carbs, those refined carbs, our bodies digest those foods really easily and really quickly. So we can then feel hungry, you know, an hour, 2 hours after eating that. But when we eat protein, lean meat, you know, the chicken breast, the chicken thighs, the fish, the eggs, the dairy products, the legumes, all the beans and the pulses, because our bodies take a lot longer to digest those foods, we feel fuller for longer and we feel more satisfied. And when I discovered that, I was like, right, that's it. I've got to eat protein in every single meal. Every meal, I'm going to have protein. And I started to stock up on those. And you might have seen on my channel, I've got a couple of videos where I've been to Aldi and Lidl, and I have done some videos about those foods in those stores that are protein rich. So that information is there for you. Hi Baron, great to have you here with me today. So when I discovered that, it started to make a huge difference. Hi Tony K, hello my lovely, great to have you with me today. Thank you for joining. So when I started to have those, that revolutionized my journey, because up until then, I didn't understand the value and the importance of having protein. So I would be like typical. I would be having breakfast cereals thinking that those were healthy. You know, we think that it's healthy because we're told it's healthy, but there was no fibre, no protein in it. So I would have my cereal, and by the time I'd left the house, I was hungry. I'd get to work and I was like, right, I'm hungry, I need to eat. And then that's when I'd be snacking, you know, right up until lunchtime. And then lunchtime would come, you know, I would have something light, maybe salad, but no protein in it. And I was still hungry. Then I'd get home and then I'd have something, again, very little protein. I was constantly hungry. And I would be eating to satisfy the hunger, but all that was doing was just bulking up calories, eating a huge amount of calories. And instead of losing weight, I was gaining weight. So when I realized actually I need to have protein at every single meal, made a massive difference, because now, as I mentioned earlier, a protein takes a lot longer to digest. So I was feeling so much more satisfied. And now I wasn't snacking. And full disclaimer, guys, I always like to give this full disclaimer. My first 9 stone I lost just by intermittent fasting, mindful eating, and, you know, doing it, losing that weight that way. And my last 3 stones, I have used Manjaro. And I'm on Manjaro because I'm a type 2 diabetic and we need to get my blood sugars under control. Now, even being on Manjaro, I still have to practice that, because I have had times where I've had my Manjaro, but I'm like feeling really hungry, and I'm like, why am I feeling hungry? And when I stop and think about it, it's because I've not had enough protein. Not had enough. So yeah, so protein, really, really important. And having lots of protein. I mean, if I have been asked, is there such a thing as having too much protein? You can have too much of anything. That's the reality. You can have too much of anything, but most people are not gonna. In fact, lots of studies show that most people are not eating enough protein in the day. So the chances that the average person is going to eat too much protein is, you know, very rare. So yeah, getting lots of protein in my meals, every meal, every single day, keeps me feeling fuller for longer, keeps me feeling satisfied, reduced my snacking. Because it's the snacking for me that is where the calories are, and that is what's going to make me gain the weight. But also we know that when we eat protein, good quality protein, like the lean meats, the eggs, the fish, the dairy, the legumes. I don't necessarily mean the proteins in processed foods, because that's another topic. But when we have that, then it preserves muscle mass. And as we get older, when we're over 50, we're in menopause, it's easy to start losing muscle mass. And it's not a good look when you've lost a lot of weight and you've lost your muscle mass because you look really thin. And what, well, certainly for me, I want to look healthy. I want to be able to have muscles. I want to be able to have my strength. I want to be able to move and lift things and carry things and, walk for a long time. I want to do all of those things. And with a health condition that I live with, that's really important that I really retain my muscle. So eating protein helps to preserve muscle mass, but also supports the metabolism. And it also provides our body with good nutrition as well, because there are amino acids that our body needs that we can only get from protein. So lots of good reasons why we need protein. So that's the first thing that I did, that I started doing on my weight loss journey to losing 173 pounds, was to ensure that I have protein in every meal. Let me just give a shout out to everybody who's with me today. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you are joining me at whatever point, great to have you. Feel free to go back to the start when this video has finished and give it a watch. If you're not subscribed, give this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and also give this video a thumbs up as well. So the second thing that I did on my journey to losing 173 pounds was to manage my portions. Got somebody calling me. Was to manage my portions and to practice mindful eating. That was so important for me. Now, when I share these things with you, I'm just sending somebody a message because they keep calling me. Okay, there we go. The wonders of technology, eh? So I started off on lots of different programs. I've done Slimming World, Weight Watchers, I've counted calories, I've done the liquid diets, I've done paleo, Mediterranean, Atkins, you name it, I've probably done it. And one of the things that a lot of those programs encourage, and this works for lots of people, didn't work for me, was that, they were like, you can have lots and lots of food. Yeah, fill your plate with lots of low pointed foods, 0 pointed foods, low sin food, low calorie foods. You could pile your plate high with that. Now that might work for you. And if it does, carry on doing that. But for me, what that did, that led me on a really dangerous route. Because whilst one day I may fill my plate with this huge salad with lots of low pointed or low calorie food, lots of chicken and fish and lots of eggs and stuff, and I had this huge plate filled with low calorie, low pointed, low sin foods, what that did was it affected my mindset, and it told me that lots of food can equal weight loss. And when I wasn't in the mindset to eat those low pointed foods or low calorie foods or low sin foods, what then happened was I was still filling my plate with food that was still high calorie, high points, high sin. And I was eating that because the mindset had shifted to say, I could still eat loads of food. I could pile it all on and that's okay. So for me, and for me alone, that was a very dangerous strategy. So I stopped doing that. And what I started doing was really being careful about my portion, whether it was low calories or low sins, low whatever, or whether it was high, I would still manage my portions, and I would eat really slowly. Even if I'm eating a salad, right, lettuce leaves, I'm still eating it really slowly, because it's not about the food for me. It was about the mindset. It was about the mindset. So I'm going to eat a salad as slowly and as mindfully as I am fried chicken. I'm going to eat a slice of cucumber as slowly and as mindfully as I am a piece of chocolate. I'm going to drink my rum and coke as slowly as I would sip water. So I started doing that because it wasn't about the food. It was about the habits. And when I made that mindset shift and I realized, actually, I can still have that chocolate. I can still have the cake. I can have the ice cream or the alcohol. I can still have that, but I still need to manage the portion and eat it mindfully. The same way, I need to do that every single day, at every single meal, at every interaction with food, regardless of whether it was chocolate cake or, a slice of cucumber. So I started doing that. I started to manage the portion and eat really mindfully. And that is really, so together with the mindful eating and the managing the portions and eating the protein, that was my golden ticket. There was a few other things, but those were the golden ticket to me losing 173 pounds without tracking on an app, without fretting how many calories is this, without having to record how many points or sins it was, without having to do any of that. And to me, that was absolute freedom. And just like with the analogy that I mentioned right at the top about going down the road to my destination with my vehicle being broken down and being able to continue going down that road step by step by step, that made a massive difference to me. And it was that practice was able to keep me not just losing weight, but help me to keep the weight off, because now my weight loss wasn't dependent on how many points or sins or calories I was eating, wasn't dependent on whether I used an app or to track or write it down, wasn't dependent on any of those. Now it was because I'd shifted the mindset. And then the third thing that I started doing was making sure that I get adequate sleep. And I didn't realise, and I'm being totally honest now, until I started at Weight Watchers and then became a weight loss coach and did my independent training, I honestly didn't realise how important sleep was. So let me just read some comments. Horatio says, I've found that portion control is essential for you to lose weight. Totally agree. really is really important. And and there are different ways to manage your portions. There's so many different ways. Some people love to weigh and measure. If that works for you, do that. That doesn't work for me, and I talked about that last week in my live. I don't weigh and measure a thing, but that works for me. That works for some people. Go for it if it works for you. When I started managing my portions, I used my hand. And it is a technique that is still used today in lots of different countries, different parts of India, in the Caribbean, different parts of Africa. Don't use scales, use the hand. Yeah. So like for me, when I started managing my portions, I know that the whole of my meal needed to fit into the palm of my hand. And that was the right portion for me because that was relative to my stomach. And at first I was like, oh my goodness, that's just never enough. But when I started to eat really slowly, really mindfully, I realized actually that is plenty. It is plenty for me. So it doesn't happen overnight, guys. It takes time. But yeah, good to hear. Good to hear that you manage your portions and that helps you to lose weight. D Shaw 246, thank you so much for being here. And you're saying that's interesting. I find it hard to get sleep. Yeah, and the message has gone off. Let's see if I can go down. Yeah. So why is sleep so important? So here's why. So as we get older, it could be that we're hitting menopause. I'm post-menopause now, but I still struggle with that. Because, we can get hot flushes, we can get the night sweats, if you identify as a female. But here's why. Here is the ultimate why sleep is so important to the weight loss journey. Now, I mentioned this briefly last week and said I'm going to do a lot more videos about this because we don't hear in the weight loss space, we hear a lot about activity, moving our bodies. We hear an awful lot about food, but what we don't hear a lot about is hormones. We don't hear a lot about hormones. Now, there's two hormones that affect our weight loss, and that is the hormone ghrelin and leptin. And if we don't get enough sleep, those hormones are wildly impacted. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been restless and not had good quality sleep? And then the next day you wake up and you're just craving carbs, you want like biscuits for breakfast, you want the sugary cereals, you want toast, you're just craving food, you want last night's pizza, you're just hungry, you want food. If that's the case, very likely that your hormone leptin has been affected. So when we get sufficient sleep, our hormones have a chance to balance. Yeah, our hormones have that opportunity to balance. Now, there's a reason why Mr. Kellogg thought, I know, I'm going to start a business and provide people with lots of sugary cereals in the morning. And it's because if you've not slept well, your body is craving that carb. It's craving the sugar because the sugar is going to give you, your body thinks that the sugar is going to give you the energy that it needs. And it will. It'll spike your energy. And then what will happen is you crash. Okay? So Mr. Kellogg thought, I know, people are not sleeping well. We'll give them lots of sugary cereals and that will boost their energy levels, which it will do. It will do. But then you'll crash. And when you crash, you might get that slump around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, where you're just tired, you want to sleep. And then come lunchtime, you think, I'm going to eat. And then you have a sandwich and it's carbs. This used to happen to me all the time. And I could never understand it. Why, after eating my lunch, which was always like a sandwich or a baguette, I'd be like 10 sheets to the wind. I'd like crash. I'd just want to sleep. My energy levels had gone. I'd be exhausted. It was because I'd filled the need for those hormones with carbs. It's given me a spike, and then I crashed. My hormones was impacted. So having good quality sleep can impact those hormones. So I've mentioned leptin. Leptin is the hormone that manages our satiety, and it gives us a feeling of being full. But if that hormone is off, we're going to always be feeling hungry. And then ghrelin is our second hormone, and that's known as the hunger hormone. And that stimulates stimulates our appetite, and then controls how much food we eat. So if our sleep is off, then we'll wake up feeling hungry because of leptin, and then the ghrelin kicks in, the hunger hormone, and then we just want to eat. We want to eat. We want to eat. Yeah. So when we get good quality sleep, those hormones are settled. But then when we do have that good quality sleep and our body is fully rested, we're going to wake up feeling energized. If we feel energized, we're likely to have the energy to think clearly, to make good food choices. We might even have the energy to cook a meal in the morning. And when we cook that, we're going to, feel full. We're going to feel satisfied. We might even have the energy to do some kind of activity, to walk, to get to the gym, to go for that swim, whatever it is that we do, the energy to get the kids ready, to get the kids out to school, to walk to work, whatever it is, we've got the energy to do that because we've had that good night's sleep. And we've got that clarity of mind, to be able to do our activities throughout the day. Yeah. But if we haven't had that good quality sleep, let me know in the chat box how it affects you. And for some people, it takes a while for you to make that connection. It took a long time for me to make the connection that not having good quality sleep was affecting me throughout the day. And then it was impacting my choices. And those choices was hindering my weight loss and even making me gain weight. So I'm just going to come to some of your comments here. So Teratio says, I understand weighing and measuring at the beginning of your journey may help, but you can't keep doing that. It's a real pain. And do you know what? Again, it goes back to what I was saying about on that analogy. We may start out on that journey, the car's broken down, we've got somewhere to go, and we might think, do you know what? I'm going to start walking and then I'm going to start running, do a sprint. But we can't maintain that sprint for 100 miles. And it's like that with all those habits that we get taught in various weight loss clubs. We're taught to, track everything we eat and drink, to weigh and measure everything we eat and drink. All of those habits, write it down, follow the recipes, do this, do that. That can work right at the start of the journey for so many people, but then what happens is you run out of steam and it's not sustainable. So a lot of people then give up because you try running 100 miles, unless you are, an athlete. For most people, I know for me, I can't even run a mile. I can't even run half a mile. But what happens is we start out with unrealistic expectations, and then we run out of steam, and then we think this program isn't working. It's not working. And it's not that the program isn't working. It's not that Weight Watchers or Slimming World or counting calories doesn't work. It's that they've set you up at the start with habits that are not sustainable for a lot of people. I say that because they weren't sustainable for me. And as a weight loss coach, I saw that those habits were not sustainable for a lot of people. And a lot of people would give up within. In fact, we were often taught that if people come back with, a lot of people would start week 1. If people came back at the end of the first month, you've got them for life. But most people you'd see them the first week, they come back after they've done the program for a week because they want to know what their results were. A lot of people didn't come back week 2, didn't come back, even less came back week 3. And on average, if 20 people started on week 1, maybe 2 came back at the end of week 4, because people were set up with habits that were not sustainable for life. And weighing and measuring was one of them. Yeah. So yeah, I totally hear what you say, Horatio. It's great at the beginning because we're all excited. It's something new. We've got, hope. We've got hope that we're going to lose our weight. We're going to get to our destination. We've got that hope. But after a period of time, it's not sustainable. So people give up. And you know what? I often heard people say things like, they're coming back to their weight loss program, Weight Loss Watchers, Slimming World, whatever it is. They're coming back after, I don't know, the 6th or 7th time. And the funny thing is they say, I'm coming back because I know it works. And I'm like, if the program worked, you would never have stopped and you would never have regained your weight. If a program or a system works, you would still be doing it and you wouldn't have regained your weight. So that is something that I always get people to ponder on. Again, on that journey, if you're walking and you're heading towards your destination, if walking towards your destination is going to work and get you there, why would you stop and go back? That's why I love analogies. Yeah, just keep going. But keep going with things that are going to work for you. So I stopped the weighing, the measuring, the tracking, stopped those because that for me wasn't sustainable. And I started doing what worked for me, and that is what's helped me to lose 173 pounds. And I'm still going. Hi Flora and hi D Short. So you say yes all the time, and I'm taking it that again you don't get that good quality sleep, and maybe you wake up and you feel hungry. Yeah, and that's why. Flora, the sugar. Yeah, but it didn't. But yeah, it affected your sleep. And Deanna, hello Deanna, hello my lovely, great to have you here with us today. So you started to hear more about people talk about hormones related to our weight. Yeah, we need, if you listen to a lot of the doctors, Dr. Jason Funk, who I absolutely love, Dr. Minzy Pals, and you listen to a lot of podcasts by doctors, the Zoe podcast as well. They talk a lot about hormones in relation to weight loss. But a lot of weight loss channels, you don't hear that. You hear them talking about getting fit and moving, or what to eat and cooking. You don't hear people talking about hormones. Hormones is so important to weight loss, and we need to talk about that so much more. Horatio says, yes, your sleep is patchy. So Horatio, let me know, when you have, do you notice a difference between when you get good sleep and when you don't get good sleep? Just let me know, drop it in the comments. And again, guys, sometimes, you know, it takes time for you to realize it. It took me ages to really take notice and make those correlations between the good sleep and the not so good sleep. Yeah. Even on Manjaro. So last night, you know, if you know me, you know I do struggle a lot with my health, and I've got a lot of pain in my hip at the moment. So it was painful. Lying on my hip was painful last night, and of course it rained as well, and I'm always worse when it rains. You know, the arthritis, it's not an old wives' tale. It is true. When it rains, or it's going to rain, I feel it in my joints. That's another story for another time. And whilst I slept, I didn't sleep as deeply or as well as I normally did. And normally you know, in the summer, I'm up at 5 o'clock, you know, 4:30. Didn't wake up till gone 7 this morning. And I thought, that was because I was extra tired. But I woke up now, I just, even though I'm on Manjaro, I was just craving something sweet and sugary. And I thought it's interesting that I'm talking about this today. So yeah, those hormones make that difference. So really important to pay attention to our sleep. So when I started paying attention to my sleep, started to make a difference. More often than that, as I just said, there will be times that due to health, I'm not going to get that good quality sleep. But when I do get that good quality sleep, it makes a huge difference to me. I wake up, I feel energized. I've got the energy. I've got the clarity of mind. I feel really good about myself. I make good choices. If I don't get good sleep, all I want to do is eat the biscuits. I want the chocolate. You know, the emotional eating kicks in, and I want to just crawl into bed and just watch TV or be on my phone. I just, you know, so hormones make a difference. So in order to support that, what I do is I have a sleep routine. So I get up in the morning, I make my bed, open the windows. As my bath is running, I'm like cleaning, I dust, I polish, I tidy, get rid of all my cups and all of that, get my bedroom nice and clean, have my bath. And then by the time I leave my room is nice and clean, nice and tidy. The bed is fluffed, everything, it's ready for tonight. So tonight, I'll usually put, I'm terrible, even in this heat, I'll still put candles on. And my candles are burning throughout the day as well. And so I'll have the candles on, I'll go up, I'll put my the soft light on, and the room is nice and clean, it's nice and fresh, it smells good. I have a bath and then into bed. And my TV's broken in my room, and my son's going to take the TV out today, but I haven't watched TV in my room for ages, for absolutely ages. And that, I think, has really helped me as well, not having the TV, because I used to put the TV on and fall asleep watching TV, and then my mind used to be whirling all over the place. So yeah, so you know, I set my room up in the morning and it's ready for me, and I actually look forward to going to bed because I know my room smells nice, it's nice and clean, it's tidy, the bed is going to be comfortable. You know, I look forward to that, and that really supports me. So guys, there we go. Let me just see any more comments. Say, oh Tony, your sleep has been terrible since you've been on your cardiac medication. And yeah, we do know that medication can impact sleep. Health conditions can impact sleep. So then he's kind of thinking about, you know, is there anything that, you know, can support you? Do you know what? I am a trained menopause coach, and I was talking to one of my colleagues this week, and she was saying that the menopause is really affecting her sleep. So we talked about a number of different things, such as reducing alcohol in the evening. But she also said she thinks that the alcohol actually knocked her out and helped her to sleep. So yeah, there's always a flip side. But the other thing is activity. We talked about activity, and as we were talking about it, she said, "You know what?" She says, "I didn't realise that you've just made me think about that," because she said not only was she drinking alcohol, but she was also dancing. She was dancing the evening away. That's also activity. And she said she got home and she had the best sleep for a long time. So yeah, either reducing the alcohol or drink. For some people, not that I'm ever going to advocate it, but for some people, if you're drinking alcohol, it can knock you out. But we also say definitely activity for some people can help them to sleep, but for some people it can stimulate them and they can find it hard to sleep. I know that having a bath at night always helps me sleep because I'm nice and relaxed, I feel clean and refreshed. But for other people, it stimulates them and they can't sleep. So it's finding what works for you. Yeah, finding what works for you can to help you develop that good sleep routine. Thank you, Ahmad. You said you like my hair. Thank you so much, my lovely. Thank you for being here. Horatio, you found eating carbs make you sleepy. However, you wasn't aware about the hormones. Yeah. So yeah, I say I found that if I eat refined carbs, sugary things, the other day at work, I had a biscuit about 11 o'clock. Well, asked me if I could keep my eyes open. Couldn't keep my eyes open. Carbs, refined sugars. I had to get up and leave the building and go for a walk just to get some air in. I just felt awful. And I will just say I had it on an empty stomach as well, because I normally like to have my first meal usually about 11, 12 o'clock, and I'd had this biscuit about 10 o'clock. My eyes were bigger than my belly, let's be honest. Knocked me about. So, really important to really understand our bodies and what works for us rather than following a strict program. Yeah, rather than following it strictly. It's because we're all different. Yeah, Deanna, you're the same as Horatio. Yeah, I hear you. And Dee Shaw says, thanks for answering. That will makes so much sense, and you will definitely try and get more sleep. Yeah. So maybe create yourself a sleep routine. Yeah. And I will do more videos about that in the future, about how different routines, how we can create those sleep routines. Because interestingly, we set up a sleep routine for children to help them get good sleep, but as we get older, we don't do it for ourselves. Yeah, maybe think about that. And Deanna, these slimming clubs tell us we need to get a good night's sleep, but they don't explain what is happening with the hormones, which can prevent weight loss. Absolutely, Deanna. Absolutely. They give us half the story, but also not only can it prevent weight loss, but it can cause weight gain as well, because if you're not getting enough sleep, your hormones are all over the place, there's cravings kick in, and we're going to be eating those refined carbs, the sugary things, and all of that is going to be excess calories and help us to gain. Yeah. Hi, Surpass Entertainment. Hello, great to have you here. Horatio's agreeing. Yes, there's a big difference. He says yesterday morning he woke up feeling terrible and he had a bad night's sleep. Today, on the other hand, he had a reasonable night's sleep and feels better. Yeah. It honestly, guys, if you're struggling with your weight loss, either you're gaining weight or you're struggling to lose it, pay attention to your sleep. Yeah, and just note whether you've had a good sleep or not and how you feel the next day. That's the start of it. And then when you notice that, then you can start putting things in place. Thank you, Avery. Thank you, my lovely. Great to have you here. And Dose of Eric, great to have you here as well. And Avery. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, guys, I've been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. So if you have missed any of this live, please go back to the start when the live ends and watch it straight from the top. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to edit it and upload it as a video without all the chit chat in between. So you've got that quality content. I did a live last week where I did 3 things that I stopped doing to help me lose 173 pounds, and that is that it's there as a live, the full session, but I've edited it and it's coming out as a video tomorrow, so do look out for that. And I'm also going to do the same with this. I'm going to edit it. So guys, just to wrap up, 3 things that I started doing on my journey to help me lose 173 pounds. I'm still losing, and I've not gained that weight back, not gained it back. In the past, I would have lost maybe a stone and put it back on. In fact, at the start of lockdown, I lost about 4 stone and I gained the weight back. So it happens to a lot of us. But when I started doing these 3 things, there's more things that I did, but for, you know, I'd be here for 5 hours if I was to go through all of them. But I just wanted to pull out 3 things, and those 3 things that I started doing to help me to lose the weight, continue losing, and not regain the weight is I ensure that I have protein in every single meal. And even if I'm going to have snacks, I'm going to have protein snacks. Okay. Also, so that was number 1, really key. Number 2, really super important, is managing my portions and mindful eating. And number 3, getting good quality and adequate sleep. Even if I don't have, like today, I will probably have a nap in the day. Because I didn't get 100% good sleep because of my hip. So I'll probably have a nap today. Even having those little power naps can really regulate our hormones. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for being here. As I said at the top, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. Drop a comment below as well, and I will get around to answering it later today. And also, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Feel free to head over there and like and follow me. Look out on the community page because there's going to be information coming about my membership, which we're revising. I've got 2 tiers of membership that I'm going to be launching. So look out for information on that, and also look out for an exciting training program. It's called 10 Weeks, 10 Mindsets. That is going to be launching very soon. It's going to be starting from the 7th of September to the 9th of November, a 10-week program, a 10-week course, but there's going to be lots of information coming on it about it on the membership, on the community page, and also on my social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Hi Jace, great to have you with me today, my lovely. Thank you so much for being here today. And Tony's had to go. He looks forward to seeing us on the next live. Thank you, my lovely. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Whatever you do, have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you all very soon. And guys, don't forget, nip over to Jace's channel, which is Jace on TV. Jace Nomad TV. Jump over there, 3 o'clock. She does amazing lives about travel. So guys, I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye.